I haven't got a copy of it here because I haven't got a copy. It's just what do you call it? One of these things. It's not the printed copy, the Kindle version, which has just been published on Amazon, Kindle Direct, and it's called "And England Shall Be Free." Now, this little book I really enjoyed writing, despite the fact that it's the most difficult one actually that I've ever written, because the bulk of it I wrote before the referendum, and so I was looking into the future of which I knew little, but just some, which has come true, and the rest was made up. But then the whole book I call a faction, a mixture of fact and fiction, which it is. And I've tried to mix it up, and now I've rewritten it in the light of the result of the election, of course, and the disappointment for Theresa May that instead of a huge majority, she wiped out the little majority she has, which has forced her into this strange union with the redneck DUP, who had extracted from her quite a lot of money for Northern Ireland. But in return, they will see that Jeremy Corbyn is kept at bay. So I'm very interested in politics, as you can see if you read that book, which is quite entertaining, I hope. I've dedicated it to David Cameron, upon whose shoulders once rested a monumental task, the like of which may well have strained the reserves of a particularly successful Greek god. Cheers. There's a lot of drinking in it and eating, which is good, which is what I like doing with my friends and without my friends even, but certainly with my friends. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do hope you enjoy it from whatever point of view you have. It strongly recommends the Brexit thing because I'm so old, I'm 81. Churchill, the great man with the cigar, was my MP. I'm imbued with politics and the political scene. In fact, the only time I went to the House of Commons was, in fact, with my little friend, the late Dudley Moore, when we were students at Oxford. And this is way before your time, of course. So this was 1956, I think, when Churchill himself was an old man and we were young students. And Dudley and I sat in the gallery, and there's a big debate about the bomb, very serious debate. And a Labour MP got up and said, what would Jesus Christ think now? Now, what would he think? You know, straight up, what would he think? And a Tory said, I don't think he'll think very much, actually. And it went on like that, and I thought it was very funny. And I turned around to Dudley, who was sitting right next to me, like here in this restaurant. And I thought that he'd be laughing at this, and there were tears streaming down his little face. That was, of course, well before his days of fame and fortune. During which, bless him, he used to take me out at his expense to wonderful restaurants in London. And I remember sitting in his Maserati Mistral, 4-branch exhaust, and beautiful. And I remember his saying in 1970, when just before Ted Heath got in power, so we still had a Labour government, he said, Tony, I'm going to America as soon as I can. There is no incentive to work. The tax is far too high. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, might be a little pointer to our little friend Jeremy Corbyn, who's a decent man, but is willing to conjure this magic money tree, right? And take us on that road. Old-fashioned, leave the rich Labour and bring the country to its knees. You mark my words. But read the new book. You'll enjoy it. God bless you.